Chapter 500. Immortal, I Can't Help Divine World. Lin family compound. Xiao Changtian heard Lin Lin's words and looked outside. Following that, he felt gusts of wind coming in from outside. Aren't they cultivators? As Xiao Changtian thought about this, he slowly said to Lin Lin beside him, B0X. Calm, is that Qin family ancestor an immortal cultivator? Lin Lin nodded at Xiao Changtian. Then this is a little troublesome. Xiao Changtian slowly said after getting Lin Lin's confirmation. How did Miss Xiaoro offend a Xiaoxianist? He was just a mortal and could not help much. When Lin Lin heard Xiao Changshan's words, she slowly said to him, Senior, is there a problem? Seeing Xiao Changshan's hesitant look, Lin Lin also wanted to kneel down in front of Xiao Changtian. Senior, please help the Lin family. Xiao Changtian saw that Lin Lin was about to kneel down to him and quickly supported him. Don't be like this. I'm just a mortal. I can't do anything to a Xiaoxianist. For now, Xiao Changtian placed it on his chin and said to Lin Lin, Do you know how to use a spirit tool? Lin Lin nodded at Xiao Changtian. Although his cultivation was no match for the Qin family's ancestor, he still had no problem using a spirit weapon. Xiao Changtian saw Lin Lin nod and his face lit up. Then that's easy. Then Xiao Changtian took out a fiery red bead from his pocket. This was the flame bead borrowed from the immortal of Dayang. After Xiao Changtian forged it, it became a small sun which was also used to keep warm in winter. Winter had passed. Xiao Changtian was also thinking about when to return it to him. Take this. It might be useful. Lin Lin saw the flame pearl in Xiao Changshan's hand and was delighted. Thank you, Senior. Senior gave him a spirit weapon, so he must have given him a way to retreat. After Lin Lin took the flame pearl from Xiao Changtian, she immediately ran to the front yard. Xiao Changtian sighed as he watched Lin Lin leave in a hurry. Although this fellow told him that he knew how to use a spiritual weapon. However, he was probably just like Di Tian, a cultivator who didn't have much talent. Otherwise, how could he have been stepped on by a villain just now? Now that the immortal cultivators had come to him, they probably hoped that Taoist Big Sun's flaming bead could help him. Thinking of this, Xiao Changtian sighed in his heart. If only he was like the other web novel protagonists, invincible at the beginning. This way he could also help. Unfortunately, he was only a mortal and could not do anything. Xiaoro said to Xiao Changtian as she watched Lin Lin leave. Senior, father and the others will be fine, right? Yes. At this moment, Xiao Changtian could only give affirmation to Xiaoro. At the same time, in the Lin family courtyard, blood flowed from the corners of Lin Yuan and the group of Lin family elders' mouths. Looking at Qin Tian in the sky, his expression was also constantly changing. Was this the power of a godly emperor? Looking at Qin Tian in midair, Lin Yuan's eyes were somewhat unwilling. This Qin Tian used some unknown method to raise his strength to be several times stronger than before. If only someone from their Lin family could stand up. At this moment, a voice slowly sounded in the Lin family courtyard. Qin Tian, this is my Lin family. We can't allow you to behave atrociously. As he spoke, Lin Lin's figure slowly appeared in the courtyard. Humph, another one is here to die. In midair, Qin Tian's blood-red figure pressed down with his palm. Lin Yuan and the others were sent flying and crashed into the wall of the courtyard. Looking at Lin Lin below, Qin Tian also said, Don't worry, your Lin family will be buried with Feng one by one. Lin Lin looked at Qin Tian with a solemn expression. The godly emperor's aura was like a huge rock pressing down on his chest. It made him feel a little out of breath. Then Lin Lin also slowly adjusted her aura. He slowly took out the flame bead that Xiao Changtian had given him. The moment the flame pearl appeared, everyone from the Lin family felt the surrounding temperature rise a little. What was this? Everyone from the Lin family looked at the flame bead in Lin Lin's hand and did not react. This was the first time they had seen this flame pearl. Then, under everyone's gaze, Lin Lin's aura soared into the sky. God Emperor? Sensing the aura on Lin Lin's body, Qin Tian frowned too. How could he not know when a godly emperor had appeared in the Lin family? Following that, Qin Tian looked over at Lin Lin and sneered. So you've just become a divine emperor not long ago and haven't grasped the power of a divine emperor yet. Seeing the appearance of the aura floating around Lin Lin, Qin Tian also reacted. Lin Lin did not have his godly emperor cultivation. When Lin Lin heard Qin Tian's words, she didn't respond. In fact, the reason why he went back to Xiao Changtian was because he knew that he didn't have the power of a god monarch realm expert. Then Lin Lin took a deep breath in the yard. Following the Taiji fist that Xiao Changtian had taught him, he began to perform the movements of the Taiji fist. What was this? When Qin Tian saw Lin Lin's actions, he immediately felt that something was wrong. He actually sensed a dangerous aura from Lin Lin. This was the first time since he entered the godly emperor realm. Die. Suppressing the uneasiness in his heart, Qin Tian's figure also directly surged. The blood-red figure raised his palm again and attacked Lin Lin below. At this moment, Lin Lin looked at the palm that was pressing down from the sky. He was about to complete the first form of Taiji Fist. With the support of the flame pearl, Lin Lin also threw a punch. This Taiji Fist was really a little too profound for him. He had only been able to make the first move and hadn't fully comprehended it. At this time, the flame bead forged by Xiao Changtian filled the gap. Following that, Lin Lin also struck out a flaming giant palm at Qin Tian. Bang! The huge flaming palm left his hand. Wherever it passed, the true essence on Qin Tian's body continuously evaporated. How was this possible? Qin Tian felt the strangeness on his body and was somewhat afraid in his heart too. He could smell the scent of death. Impossible, he had taken the pill given to him by the divine eye. His current strength could also reach the peak of the godly emperor realm. How could he be defeated by a Lin family junior? No. Under Qin Tian's unwilling gaze, the huge flaming palm also swallowed it. In the air, the divine eye held a profound shadow stone in its hand and recorded everything below. He was certain that the giant flaming palm that Lin Lin had just displayed. It definitely surpassed the realm of emperor gods. With the personalities of those people from the human realm upon heavens, they would definitely slaughter this group of people. Chapter 501. Someone from the human realm upon heavens. 1. Heavenly Gate above a magnificent hall. The Heaven Gate Hall Master was standing in the middle of the hall, offering his body. There were several white-robed men sitting on the chairs above the hall. The man looked at the Heaven's Gate Sect Master below and slowly said to him, "Xian Tian, were you the one who sent us the message that you found the white tiger?" When the Heaven's Gate Sect Master heard the white-robed man's words, he hurriedly responded respectfully to him. B0X. Calm. Yes, my lord. The Elysium has indeed been attacked by the white tiger recently. I hope you will understand. The white-robed man in the middle seat slowly stood up when he heard the Heaven's Gate Sect Master's words. Nonsense, the divine realm is a barren land that has been robbed of its luck for a long time. How can it possibly give birth to a divine beast like the white tiger? I don't think you're getting old and your memory is bad, right? As the white-robed man spoke, his figure flashed and he appeared in front of the Heaven's Gate Sect Master in an instant. When the Heaven's Gate Sect Master saw the white-robed man in front of him, he was also a little afraid. She quickly said to him, "My lord, it's true. Everyone in the heavenly gates saw it. It's that white tiger who stopped our plan to collect the luck of the lower realm." When the white-robed man heard that the Heaven's Gate Sect Master had failed to collect the fate of the lower realm, he waved his sleeve at him. Then the Heaven's Gate Sect Master felt a strong wind fly past his ear. The strength was unprecedented. At the same time, sweat kept flowing down the forehead of the Heaven's Gate Sect Master. At this moment, a series of footsteps could be heard from outside the Heavenly Gate Hall. Then the figure of the Divine Eye slowly appeared in everyone's eyes. Seeing the Divine Eye enter, everyone also looked over at him. The Heaven's Gate Sect Master also said to him when he saw the Divine Eye, "Divine Eye, what are you doing here?" One had to know that the communication between Elysium and beyond the heavens had always been a top secret. The Divine Eye walking in like this could be said to be a capital offense. At this moment, the Divine Eye also bowed to the Heaven's Gate Sect Master and the few white-robed men above. He took out a profound shadow stone from his bosom and said to them slowly, "Sect Master, there are a few seniors. I came in because I have something important to report." As he spoke, the Divine Eye also stretched out its hand and slowly injected the true essence in its body into the profound shadow stone. Then the scene inside the profound shadow stone slowly appeared in everyone's eyes. In the image, Lin Lin was performing Taiji Fist with the power of the flame pearl. It directly killed Qin Tian, who was in midair. What was this? Seeing the scene inside the profound shadow stone, the few white-robed men were all attracted over. The fist force displayed in this scene was very profound. Where was this recorded? At this moment, a white-robed man spoke slowly to the Divine Eye. "Senior, this was taken in the divine realm. So, the white tiger really appeared in the god realm?" A white-robed man was also in deep thought when he heard the Divine Eye's words. The white tiger was of great importance. Even in the human realm upon heavens, it only existed in legends. The few of them came here because they were not too sure about the judgment of the Elysium. "Big brother, let's go to the divine realm. I want to see how a prison like the divine realm gave birth to a divine beast like the white tiger." And this set of fist force, in getting more and more interested in the divine realm. A white-robed man slowly said to the two people beside him. Then, the white-robed man standing in the middle slowly said to the divine eye, "Lead the way. I want to see what kind of people have appeared in this divine world." The white-robed man spoke with confidence. Having lived in the human realm upon heavens for so many years, these few people were naturally full of confidence when they came to such a barren land like the divine realm. At this moment, the Heaven's Gate sect master also slowly said to the divine eye, "Divine eye, since the lords wish to go to the divine realm, you can lead the way." When the divine eye heard the Heaven's Gate sect master's words, it also nodded at him. Following that, under the guidance of the divine eye, the white-robed man also turned into a stream of light and set off in the direction of the divine world. At the same time, in the divine world, after Lin Lin killed Qin Tian, the Lin family members also shouted, "Lin Lin, where did you get this spirit tool?" Lin Yuan looked at Lin Lin and slowly said to him. Lin Lin looked at the flaming bead in his hand and slowly said to Lin Yuan, "Senior lent this to me." "Senior?" When they heard Lin Lin mention senior, they also understood. Xiao Changtian was still in their courtyard. It seemed that Xiao Changtian valued their Lin family. As he thought of this, Lin Yuan slowly said to the Lin family disciples behind him, "Pass on my orders. We'll hold a banquet tonight to thank senior." Having just been killed by Qin Tian by Lin Lin, the entire Lin family was currently in a state of excitement. Hearing Lin Yuan's words, they cheered. Then, under everyone's gazes, the Lin family disciples also began to walk around the courtyard and start to get busy. That night, the Lin family entered a joyous atmosphere. All kinds of delicacies were brought out. Subsequently, Lin Yuan slowly said to Lin Lin, "Lin Lin, where's senior? Why didn't you invite him over?" At this moment, Lin Lin also slowly arrived at the Lin family's backyard. At this moment in the backyard, Xiao Changtian was also slowly packing his belongings. Since Xiao Rao's family had resolved the disaster, it was time for him to go back. The preparation for the supreme kick was about to begin. After all, the ingredients and tools were also gathered. Xiao Changtian was packing his things. Just as he opened his door, he saw Lin Lin and Xiao Rao's figures appear in front of him. "Senior, what are you doing?" Lin Lin saw Xiao Changtian carrying a bamboo basket on his back and was a little confused. "I still have something to do at home, so I'll leave first." Xiao Changtian was also going to bid farewell to Xiao Rou and the others. When he saw Lin Lin, he said to him. When Lin Lin heard Xiao Changshan's words, she grabbed his hand and said slowly, "Senior, how can we do that? We haven't thanked you properly yet. How about this? Let's leave after dinner." As she spoke, Xiao Rou, who was beside Lin Lin, looked at Xiao Changtian with a glimmer of hope in her eyes. They knew that Xiao Changtian was a powerful cultivator. He definitely wouldn't stay in the Lin family for long, but he still had to thank Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian smiled at them. "All right then." Then he put down his own bamboo basket. When Xiao Rou and Lin Lin heard that Xiao Changtian was willing to stay, their faces were filled with joy. Then he brought Xiao Changtian to the Lin family's banquet. Chapter 502, Divine Court's Visit, 1. Divine World, Lin family. Due to the intense battle that happened here, the Lin family even killed a godly emperor like Qin Tian. The surrounding forces also came to congratulate him when they heard the news. When the Lin family was holding a banquet, all kinds of people kept coming. At this moment, the leaders of the various factions brought their own gifts and stepped into the Lin family's door. B0X. Calm Lin Yuan's face was also brimming with joy. When they discovered that the ancestral land was in the divine world, they were shocked. He was also very excited. He thought that it would be difficult to take root here. Unexpectedly, with the help of Senior, someone came to visit very quickly. An Yuan was also toasting the guests, and Xiao Changtian was arranged to sit at the highest seat. She felt a little uncomfortable being stared at by so many pairs of eyes. That must be an expert from the Lin family. It was said that he had personally killed a godly emperor. Everyone's eyes kept moving from Xiao Changtian to Lin Lin, who was standing beside him. According to the news, it was this person who killed the godly emperor with one palm. They didn't know if this sudden emergence of such a powerful force was a blessing or a curse. At this moment, outside the Lin family's door, a loud and clear voice slowly sounded. The divine court has brought gifts to congratulate the Lin family on taking root in the divine world. Following this voice, everyone looked towards the Lin family's door. At this moment, Di Tian and the Ice Emperor slowly appeared in the Lin family. The Ice Emperor and the others also had a gift in their hands. He slowly walked into the Lin family. After the Metal Emperor and the others were found, Di Tian also began his plan to revive the divine court. The Mei Empress also started to build her own information network in the divine realm. Hence, the news of Xiao Changtian coming to the Lin family slowly spread to Di Tian not long after. Upon hearing Xiao Changshan's arrival, Di Tian hurriedly walked over. There must be a deeper meaning behind Senior's visit. He also wanted to see if there was anything he could help with. He did not expect to hear about the matter of Qin Tian being killed by the Lin family when he came here. Di Tian also sighed that he was still a step too late. At this moment, everyone in the Lin family courtyard had looks of disbelief on their faces as they stared at Di Tian and the others. Perhaps the Lin family did not know, but as a faction in the divine world, they were not aware of this. How could they not know about the incident at the Drunken Immortal restaurant? The figure of the Metal Emperor in the various powers of the divine realm had truly left a deep impression on everyone. Looking at the people beside the Metal Emperor, some of them slowly recalled. Was this the former 10 great generals of the divine court? Heavens, the rumors of the 10 great generals of the divine court surviving were indeed true. Also, could the person before them be the lord of the divine court, Di Tian? Seeing the black-robed figure in front of them, those cultivators were also somewhat surprised. What was the relationship between this Lin family and the divine court? The divine court had been silent for hundreds of years. Why would it appear here today? At this moment, the forces that came here all smelled the aura of a rising power. Not to mention anything else, just the strength of the 10 great generals of the divine court was at the godly emperor realm. This was a common consensus hundreds of years ago. Who knew what level their strength had reached after so many years? There was also an even more powerful lord of the divine court. This was definitely a giant existence in the divine world. If they could build a relationship here today, then, their forces would not be too far away from the day of soaring. At this moment, when Lin Yuan saw Di Tian who suddenly appeared, his expression turned heavy. He held a wine glass and went up to her. How could he not tell that the auras on these people were all the same as Qin Tian from before? They were even stronger than them. What were these people doing here? Lin Yuan didn't think that a small Lin family like himself was worth them befriending. Was it because they were outsiders? As he thought of this in his heart, Di Tian also slowly walked towards Lin Yuan. She took the wine glass from him and smiled at him. I believe this is the head of the Lin family. When he heard Di Tian's words, Lin Yuan also felt fear and trepidation. He slowly spoke to Di Tian. Yes, the Lin family welcomes you. Come serve the wine. As they spoke, a few Lin family disciples immediately came over to sit for Di Tian and the others. At this moment, Di Tian also saw Xiao Changtian who was sitting at the table. He walked over and slowly spoke. Senior, Di Tian didn't invite you here. I hope you don't mind. Xiao Changtian was currently eating the dishes on the table. When he heard Di Tian's words, he also turned his gaze over. Di Tian? Xiao Changtian also started when he saw Di Tian. After that, he stood up from his seat. He slowly spoke to Di Tian. Di Tian, why are you here? When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also slowly spoke. Senior, one also heard that you were here, so I came over to take a look. Xiao Changtian heard Di Tian's words. Wild Beast nodded to him. Then he slowly said to Lin Yuan, Old man, this is my friend Di Tian. Let me introduce him to you. When Lin Yuan heard Xiao Changshan's words, he reacted immediately. The reason why Di Tian would come here was not because of any other reason. He was here to look for this senior. Without this senior, this person would probably not have taken a fancy to their Lin family at all. At this moment, Lin Yuan slowly said to Xiao Changtian, Thank you, senior. It's nothing. That's right, Di Tian is also a cultivator. You guys can exchange some information. Xiao Changtian remembered that Di Tian was also a cultivator who had just entered the sect not long ago. Lin could use the flame pearl just now. He must be a beginner cultivator. In this aspect they could communicate with each other. In the future it would also be easy to block enemies. When Lin heard Xiao Changshan's words, she also spoke to Di Tian in terror. Thank you, senior. He could tell that Di Tian's aura was at least that of a peak god emperor. In fact, he was even vaguely at the same level as some grandmasters. Di Tian heard Lin words, also is to him a smile. Since Xiao Changtian had said that he would pay attention to the Lin family's existence, he would also pay attention to them. When those cultivators who came to visit the Lin family heard Di Tian's words, they all turned to look at Xiao Changtian. Could it be that this person was the strongest here? Since Xiao Changtian entered the banquet, he had been ignored by everyone. When Xiao Changtian first came in, it wasn't like he didn't pass by them. However, at that time, they all thought that he was an ordinary disciple of Thelen family and did not have any aura on him. Therefore he wasn't very enthusiastic about Xiao Changtian. Now it seemed that they had missed a great opportunity to cling onto someone's thigh. At this moment, some of the visitors from the various forces were slapping their own thighs. He secretly thought to himself that he had looked down on others just now. Chapter 503, Preparing to Make Supreme Kick, 1. Divine World, Lin family. With the arrival of Tian and the others, the banquet naturally proceeded as scheduled. As time passed, those visitors slowly left the Lin family. They wanted to send the news back to their families. This Lin family is in high spirits. B0x. Calm. After everyone was almost done, Tian slowly spoke to Lin Yuan. Master Lin, how about we form an alliance? In this way we can also take care of each other in the divine realm. When he heard Tian's words, Lin Yuan also felt some fear. He slowly spoke to Tian. On behalf of the Lin family, I am extremely grateful to Senior. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also slowly spoke to Tian. Tian, you want to establish a power in the divine realm? When Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also slowly spoke. Yes, Senior. I plan to establish a divine court in the divine realm. Xiao Changtian didn't say anything when he heard Tian's words. Although this Tian's cultivation base wasn't high, his dreams were still very big. Thinking back to his previous life when he first entered society, he also had a big dream. Later on, when she entered society and was beaten up by society, she realized that life was not easy. Now Tian was just like him. However, Xiao Changtian also knew that it was useless to persuade him now. Tian, it was better for him to personally experience the beating of the cultivation world. Thinking of this in his heart, Xiao Changtian slowly spoke to Tian. I mean good. Tian, do your best. I believe in you. At the very least, Tian still knew how to pull people to form an alliance and not act alone. This way the chances of success were still higher. When Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also nodded his head. After obtaining Xiao Changshan's affirmation, Tian's confidence in rebuilding the divine court grew. Xiao Changshan's voice was heard again. Well, I'm going back to make the supreme martial artist's feat too. Upon hearing that Xiao Changtian wanted to return, Tian nodded his head. He also knew that Xiao Changtian had been sending his disciple out to look for ingredients. It was prepared to create a dish of food. Now it seemed that Senior had begun to make it. After that, Tian also slowly spoke to Xiao Changtian. Is there anything I can help you with? Xiao Changtian shook his head when he heard Tian's words. No need, I can handle it myself. As for you, if you want to build a force, do it well. Don't be anxious. Xiao Changtian patted him on the shoulder and said earnestly. Then Tian and Lin Yuan also sent Xiao Changtian off. This time Lin Yuan and Lin Lin had no intention of keeping Xiao Changtian alive. Since Senior had something to do, wouldn't it be rude for them to force him to stay? After Xiao Changtian left, Tian also spoke to Lin Yuan. Patriarch Lin, let's sign an alliance agreement. As he spoke, Tian waved his hand at the Ice Emperor behind him. Then the Ice Emperor took out the alliance agreement that she had prepared beforehand. After placing it on the table, Lin Yuan read the contents of the alliance agreement. Lin Yuan's eyes swept over the area. After that, he slowly spoke to Tian. Fellow Taoist, wouldn't this alliance be inappropriate? When Tian heard Lin Yuan's words, he also spoke. What's the matter, Master Lin? Is there a problem? When Lin Yuan heard Tian's words, he also felt a little embarrassed. Our Lin family has gained too much from this alliance agreement. Originally, he thought that with the strength of their Lin family, they would be able to form an alliance with an expert like Tian. It was already a blessing. In addition, Tian's power was far stronger than the Lin family. However, in this alliance agreement, the Lin family was the one who would gain the most benefits. At this moment, Tian also waved his hands at Lin Yuan. Patriarch Lin, there's nothing here. Just sign it. When Lin Yuan saw that Tian wasn't joking, he didn't act pretentiously. They signed the alliance agreement. Their Lin family had just arrived in the divine world and indeed needed the help of a faction like the divine court. After that, Tian also clenched his fist towards Lin Yuan. Then he brought the Ice Emperor and the others and slowly left the Lin family. After sending Tian and the others away, Lin Yuan also sighed. Then he looked at Lin Lin and Xiao Rou beside him. Lin Lin, I'm done. In the future you'll be the head of the Lin family. Lin Yuan now knew that their Lin family could take root in the ancestral land so quickly. It must be because of the relationship between Xiao Rou and that senior. When Lin Lin heard Lin Yuan's words, she also slowly said to him, Patriarch, this? Lin Yuan saw that Lin Lin still wanted to say something and waved his hand at him. There's no need to say anything else. This matter has been decided. Following that, Lin Yuan also walked into the Lin family courtyard. After Xiao Changtian left, the two antennae of the chaos ant on his shoulder also lit up with a silver light. He brought Xiao Changtian to Dayang town. After returning to Dayang town, Xiao Changtian slowly walked towards his own courtyard. Seeing the sky, Xiao Changtian also walked into his own courtyard. Tomorrow should be the best time to make the supreme kick. After entering the courtyard, Xiao Changtian saw Mu Jiahuang and said to her slowly, "Jiao, I might need you to take care of the courtyard tomorrow. Take care of the first guest." Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Mu Jiahuang was also stunned. He didn't understand Xiao Changshan's intention, but he still nodded at Xiao Changtian. Then Xiao Changtian looked at Futian and the others in the courtyard and said to them slowly, "Disciples, well, start making the supreme martial artist's feat tomorrow. The ingredients you prepared a while ago can also be used." Yi Fan, Futian, and the others heard Xiao Changshan's words and were delighted. Although they had been collecting ingredients recently, they were also very interested in the food that Xiao Changtian wanted to make. Then Di Wuzheng slowly asked Xiao Changtian, "Master, who are you going to give this ingredient to?" Upon hearing Di Wuzheng's words, the other disciples looked at him and smiled at him. Among them, Di Wuzheng was undoubtedly their favorite. Xiao Changtian smiled at Di Wuzheng. "Well, keep it a suspense. You'll know tomorrow." To be honest, Xiao Changtian didn't know who to give it to. How would he know what kind of person this damn system wanted him to feed it to? Who would be the first person to visit tomorrow? After the disciples heard Xiao Changshan's words, they became even more curious about the supreme martial kick. At the same time, in a space outside the divine world, the figures of a few white-robed men and divine eyes slowly appeared. Looking at the divine realm in front of him, the divine eye slowly said to the white-robed men, "Everyone, the divine realm is ahead." Chapter 504, Heavenly Yuan, Earth Yuan, Human Yuan Translator, RZTQRANQQMUI 1 Divine World. Above the Lin family's courtyard, the divine eye brought the figures of several white-robed men and slowly appeared. He looked at the Lin family disciples who were still cleaning up the banquet below. A white-robed man had a disdainful look in his eyes. Then, he slowly said to the divine eye beside him, "The fist technique you mentioned appeared here? B0x. Calm. When the divine eye heard the white-robed man's words, it also bowed to the white-robed man. "Lord, that person is a disciple of the Lin family. Lord, wait for me to find him." As soon as he finished speaking, the divine eye raised its arm, and its palm was covered in golden light. With a wave of his arm, the golden light turned into a golden blade of light. Bang! The light blade hit a table in the Lin family courtyard. In an instant, the table and the surrounding Lin family disciples were sent flying. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! When the Lin family disciples saw the smashed table in the courtyard, they shouted. Why then? An angry voice sounded in the air. "Who attacked our Lin family?" As soon as he finished speaking, Lin's figure slowly appeared in the sky above the Lin family. As Lin appeared in the air, the divine eye slowly said to the few white-robed men beside him, "My lord, it's him." The white-robed man looked at Lin below, his gaze still carrying thick disdain. "Go to hell." A white-robed man waved his sleeve, and a silver-white light blade appeared out of thin air, attacking Lin. Lin's expression turned grave when he saw the silver-white light blade coming at him. He placed his hands in front of his chest. Bang! The light blade hit Lin's body, and Lin's figure also fell into the Lin family's courtyard. Can't even withstand a single blow. The white-robed man looked at Lin, who could not even withstand a single attack from him, and said emotionlessly. Inside the Lin family courtyard. As Lin was struck down by the white-robed man, the Lin family elders also walked out of the courtyard. That the divine eye elder of the heavenly gates? Lin Yuan looked at the divine eye in the sky and said slowly. When the divine eye heard Lin Yuan's words, it smiled at him. "Lin Yuan, your Lin family has already offended someone you shouldn't have offended." When Lin Yuan heard the divine eye's words, his face was also a little dumbfounded. At that moment, Lin had already wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth and stood up. Looking at the divine eye and the white-robed man in the air, Lin also began to wave his hands. He made a Taiji fist gesture. The white-robed man only looked at Lin when he saw Lin performing Taiji fist. 5-inch, where did you learn this fist technique? With his eyesight, he was able to see Lin's fist technique at such a close distance. He actually couldn't see the profundity within. You have no right to know. Lin had already executed the first form of Taiji fist according to her own comprehension. He threw a punch at the man in the white robe in the sky. The fist passed through layers of void space and instantly arrived in front of the white-robed man. Bang! The white-robed man slowly raised his arm and caught Lin Lin's fist with one hand. The fist technique is not bad, but the person who uses it is not good enough. After giving a simple evaluation, the white-robed man turned his arm that was holding Lin Lin's fist. A series of crackling sounds came from Lin Lin. The white-robed man pushed his palm forward and Lin Lin's figure flew down. It doesn't matter if you don't want to say it. You'll beg me to say it later. Bang! Lin Lin fell in the Lin family courtyard and was caught by a group of Lin family disciples. Lin Yuan came to Lin Lin's side to check and said slowly, "Lin Lin's arm bones are broken." Hearing Lin Yuan's words, the Lin family disciples felt their hearts sink. Lin Lin could be said to be the #1 person in their Lin family. What were they going to do? There's no need for the rest of you to exist. Behind the white-robed man, a long-haired man in a white robe slowly said, "Second brother." The white-robed man looked at the man who spoke and said to him. The long-haired man looked at Lin Yuan and the others below. There was also a ray of light in his hand. He pointed his finger downward, and the light at his fingertips split into countless pieces. Each of them carried powerful power. The Lin family disciples looked at the densely packed needles of light in the sky, and their expressions were very solemn. Since when did the divine realm have guests visiting again? At this moment, a voice sounded in the Lin family courtyard. As this voice sounded, an ice-blue ice shield slowly appeared in the sky above the Lin family. He helped the Lin family block the silver needles. The long-haired man looked at the ice shield in front of him and also looked at the void in front of him. Then, a spatial fluctuation came from that space. Di Tian and the 10 generals of the Divine Court slowly appeared before Divine Eye and the others. Upon seeing Di Tian, the last white-robed man slowly walked out as well. It seems that what the Elysium said is true. In this barren land, there is also a person who is about to break through to the immortal realm. As he spoke, the man walked to Di Tian and slowly spoke, "Let me introduce myself. My name is Tian Yuan. These two are my younger brothers, Di Yuan and Ren Yuan. Our purpose here is very simple. We just want to trouble you to come back with us." Tenjin had a kind smile on his face as he spoke. When Di Tian heard Tian Yuan's words, he slowly spoke, "Going back with you guys, I think you guys can't leave." Di Tian stared at Tian Yuan and the others as he slowly replied. He had just received an emergency message from Lin Yuan's jade pendant and had rushed over with the Ice Emperor and the rest. The few white-robed men in front of him gave him a feeling that they were not simple. Ha ha ha. Upon hearing Di Tian's words, Ren Yuan who was behind him started laughing out loud. "Big brother, why waste your breath on him? He is just a half-step human immortal." As he spoke, Ren Yuan's figure appeared before Di Tian with a swoosh. His palm carried a surge of true essence as it blasted towards Di Tian. Di Tian could sense the immense might of the mortal elemental energy, and he gathered his true elemental energy in his hands. It collided with Ren Yuan's palm. Bang! Di Tian and Ren Yuan clashed, and a wave of air was emitted in the air. Interesting. Ren Yuan stared at Di Tian before him as he slowly spoke. As for the Lin family disciples below, they looked at Di Tian and the others in the sky with some anticipation. Right now in their eyes, Di Tian was their savior. If even Di Tian couldn't defeat them, their Lin family would truly be doomed. As Di Tian and Ren Yuan clashed for a few rounds, the Ice Emperor and the others also joined the battle. From the battle, they could tell that Di Tian was having a hard time. Chapter 505. Di Tian defeated 1. Divine World. Above the Lin family's courtyard, Di Tian and the 10 great generals of the Divine Court clashed with Ren Yuan for a few rounds. Di Tian steadied himself in midair and wiped the sweat off his forehead. Staring at Ren Yuan, Di Tian's expression turned solemn. After a few rounds, he felt an invincible aura from Ren Yuan. B0x. Calm every time he and the 10 generals increased their power and clashed with the mortal elemental energy. However, Ren Yuan seemed to be like him, becoming more and more courageous as he fought. Moreover, the aura on his body was still rising. At this moment, a voice slowly sounded in the air. "Third brother, don't play anymore. We will soon find out what happened in this world." Tian Yuan's voice slowly sounded in Ren Yuan's ears. After that, Ren Yuan smiled at Di Tian and the others. Ren Yuan took a step forward and a powerful aura swept out from his body. Bang! An unprecedented aura suddenly erupted from Ren Yuan's body. At this moment, the old demon in the divine world opened his eyes from his secret chamber. "This is Immortal Realm? Immortal Realm. I didn't expect that there would really be someone who could reach the cultivation level after the God Emperor realm. I still have hope. With the appearance of the immortal realm, is there going to be a huge change in the divine realm? Above the Lin family, Ren Yuan looked at Di Tian as a proud smile appeared on his face. What, are you afraid, ants? Although I don't know how you reached the half-step human immortal stage, I'm still curious. But I'm telling you, in front of the real human immortal, nothing is half-step human immortal. As soon as he finished speaking, Ren Yuan's figure disappeared in front of everyone. Everyone only felt their vision blur. Following that, Ren Yuan kicked Di Tian's abdomen. Di Tian's abdomen was struck and a mouthful of blood flowed out from his mouth. The fate of your world is on you. If the heaven's gate is useless, let me take it back. A small ant wants to overturn the heavens? As he spoke, Ren Yuan was also punching and kicking Di Tian. When the Ice Emperor and the others saw this scene, they also shouted, "My lord!" Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Ice Emperor and the others flew towards Ren Yuan. However, before he could touch Ren Yuan's clothes, he was sent flying by an invincible force. An ant is an ant. Do you want to shake a tree? The Ren Yuan hand pressed on Di Tian's head. Di Tian's luck was also slowly absorbed by him. At this moment, Di Tian was also somewhat out of breath. He would be completely unable to match up to the power of the path up. No, if this continues, my lord will die. At this moment, the Ice Emperor stared at Di Tian, who was still fighting with Ren Yuan as she spoke to the others. Then, the voice of the May Empress slowly echoed among the crowd. The May Empress condensed a purple flower in front of her. He injected his true essence into it. The Ice Empress and the others knew what the May Empress was going to do. All of them gathered their true chi towards the May Empress. The May Empress stared at Di Tian as she roared. Go! Purple Lotus 100 revolutions, shifting stars. As soon as the May Empress finished speaking, the purple flower flew up into the sky. Ren Yuan looked at the purple flower flying over from below and threw Di Tian over as well. Whoosh! At the instant the violet flower and Di Tian collided. The space around Di Tian trembled as a surge of spatial energy enveloped him. Bring him away from this place. The May Empress and the others sighed in relief when they saw Di Tian being successfully sent out. Following that, Ren Yuan looked at the Lin family disciples and the 10 great generals of the divine court below and slowly said to the divine eye beside him, Divine eye, I'll leave them to you. We want an answer in 3 days. Don't disappoint us. How did that fist technique come about? And how did that person cultivate to half-step human immortal? When the divine eye heard Ren Yuan's words, it nodded at him. Sir, that just now, don't worry about that. Just settle the rest. When the divine eye heard Ren Yuan's words, it did not ask further. Then Ren Yuan came to the front of Di Yuan of Tian Yuan and said to them slowly, Big brother, second brother, I've already left a mark on him. I believe we will know the answer soon. Di Tian was able to break through the peak of the God Monarch realm and reach the half-step human immortal realm. This was impossible in this prison. And that fist technique, Ren Yuan believed that it was definitely the most profound fist technique he had ever seen. It was very unusual for this fist technique to appear in such a place. Tian Yuan Continent, Dayang Town, Xiao Changshan's courtyard. Xiao Changtian slowly walked out of the room. He saw a group of disciples waiting for him in the backyard. Seeing Xiao Changtian, Di Wuzheng said slowly, Master, are you going to start cooking? Xiao Changtian saw their excitement and said to them, Yes, I'm going to start cooking. You guys can take out the ingredients from the kitchen. This group of fellows seemed to be gluttons. They were even more anxious than him. Then Di Wuzheng and the others moved the ingredients and kitchenware from the kitchen to the courtyard. At the same time, Xiao Changtian came to Mu Jiahuang's side and said slowly, Jiao the gate of the courtyard will be closed this year. Whoever knocks on the door first, let him come in and look for me. Mu Jiahuang nodded at Xiao Changtian. Then he walked to the front door of the courtyard and closed it. Xiao Changtian also brought Alpha back to his kennel. Xiao Changtian slowly walked up to the table after he finished preparing everything. He opened the system and familiarized himself with the steps of making the supreme kick according to the system's instructions. Xiao Changtian looked at the seeds of the fiery tree on the table and slowly placed them on the stove. Then, a layer of flames burst out from the tree and burned on the top of the furnace. And you? Xiao Changtian then placed the metal pot on top of the flame. Beichen, is the water ready? All right, master. As Xiao Changshan's voice trailed off, Jiang Beichen handed the luo water he had found to Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian placed the luo water into the black pot. Waves of pure spiritual energy also began to flow in the courtyard. Everyone felt the change and held their breaths as they watched Xiao Changtian work. At this moment, Xiao Changtian was also slowly burning the wood that Yi Fan had collected. Chapter 506, Supreme Kick Success. L Tianyuan Continent, Dayang Town, Xiao Changshan's courtyard. As the water in the black pot began to boil, Xiao Changtian also put the ingredients in. Then Xiao Changtian came to the side of the table. He picked up the kitchen knife on the table and cut the dragon fruit and passion fruit that Diwu Zhang and the others had collected. Looking at Xiao Changshan's movements, Diwu Zhang and the others felt a natural feeling. Updated on B0X and 0ville. Calm duo. Duo. As Xiao Changtian cut the vegetables, Futian said slowly, I understand. Hearing Fuxian's words, the other disciples also looked at him. What did this junior brother Futian understand? Lin Ruomiao looked at Xiao Changshan's hand movements and seemed to understand. He himself also used short knives and daggers. It was like an extremely terrifying saber technique. Li Taibai was also mesmerized by Xiao Changshan's actions. Although Li Taibai used a sword, the sword and saber were interlinked. Li Taibai also realized something from Xiao Changshan's actions. Xiao Changtian cut the dragon fruit and passion fruit into the shape he wanted. He also removed the lid of the black pot and continued to add them in. Next, we just have to wait for them to get familiar with each other. Xiao Changtian muttered and closed the lid again. As time passed, the spiritual energy in the surrounding environment slowly gathered towards black pot. The limitless ring itself had the ability to absorb luck. This time Xiao Changtian was going to use the supreme kick. He also wanted to gain the attention of the Xiao Changtian, so he had to perform well. It directly absorbed the surrounding spiritual energy and slowly gathered it into the black pot. As for Futian and the others, they could feel the flow of spiritual qi between heaven and earth. They looked at Xiao Changtian respectfully. His master was doing the simplest actions of a mortal, but with every move he changed the spiritual qi in the world. This realm is beyond our reach. Meanwhile, Divine King Red Cloud and Divine King Black Sky walked out of their houses above Great Sun Town. They looked at each other in the direction of Xiao Changshan's courtyard. It seemed that Senior was casting a spell. It had been a long time since they came to Dayang Town, but this was the first time they felt the changes in Xiao Changshan's courtyard. Almost all of the spiritual energy in Dayang Town had been gathered by Xiao Changshan's courtyard. On top of the Great Sun Sect, a Great Sun Sect disciple hurriedly walked into the Great Sun Divine Hall. He said slowly to the Great Sun Immortal above, Sect Master, something bad has happened. When the Great Sun Immortal heard this disciple's words, he also said to him, What's the matter? Why are you so impatient? When the disciple heard Immortal Diang's words, he said breathlessly, Sect Master, the spiritual energy of the Great Sun Sect has been absorbed by someone. The Great Sun Immortal also walked out after hearing the words of the disciple of the Great Sun Sect. He could feel the changes in the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. What kind of treasure was about to appear? No, Taoist De Yang was looking in the direction of Xiao Changshan's courtyard. Almost all the spiritual energy in the world gathered in Xiao Changshan's courtyard. Senior, what are you doing? As the Great Sun Immortal thought this, he said to the Great Sun Sect disciples beside him, Pass on my order. The disciples patrolling in Great Sun Town today will be sent more people to maintain order in Great Sun Town. The Great Sun Immortal didn't want anyone to disturb Xiao Changshan's business. When the Great Sun Sect disciple heard the Great Sun Immortal's words, he immediately went down and did as he was told. At the same time outside Dayang Town, in a certain space a silver light flashed. After that, Di Tian's figure slowly appeared on the ground. At this moment, Di Tian's clothes were stained with blood. The Mei Empress, Ice Empress, and the others unleashed their spatial secret arts, teleporting Di Tian out of Great Sun Town. Di Tian relied on the remaining consciousness in his mind and slowly stood up from the ground. Looking at the familiar Dayang Town, he walked towards Xiao Changshan's courtyard. Now, only Xiao Changtian could help him save the divine court. In Xiao Changshan's courtyard, Xiao Changtian looked at the various ingredients in the black pot. At this moment, all the ingredients had begun to gather together. Xiao Changtian looked at the recipe in the system and adjusted the fire according to the recipe. At this moment, the divine beast in the courtyard was also looking at the supreme martial artist's feet that were gradually taking shape in Xiao Changshan's pot. I didn't expect Master to have such a treasure the moment he made his move. If I eat this ingredient, my strength will definitely rise to another level. In the future when I fight with the damn monkey, they will definitely not be my match. The one speaking was Black Tortoise, currently sitting on top of Fatty Rongrong's head. He also looked at the supreme martial artist's feet in Xiao Changshan's black wok and was very greedy. At this moment, Monkey looked at Black Tortoise disdainfully. You're the only one who can eat Master's food. You cause trouble for Master every day. It's good that he doesn't beat you. When Black Tortoise heard Monkey's mockery, he said angrily, Damned Monkey, what are you saying? All right. If you continue talking, you will all be locked up by Master. This time the Chaos Ant also came out to mediate. Upon hearing the Chaos Ant's words, Black Tortoise and Monkey did not say anything. Now who knew that Xiao Changtian would bring the Chaos Ants with him every time he went out? Xiao Changtian doted on the Chaos Ants. At this moment, a series of gurgling sounds rang out in the courtyard. Xiao Changtian was holding a plate in his hand. As for the supreme kick, it was placed firmly on top. Xiao Changtian looked at the supreme kick in his hand and was satisfied. After such a long time he had finally finished dealing with the supreme kick. This damn system actually gave him such a difficult mission. Alright, now that the dishes were ready, he just had to wait for someone. Xiao Changtian looked at Mu Jiahuang who was in the yard and said slowly, Jiao did anyone come today? Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Mu Jiahuang slowly responded. Master, I haven't. After Xiao Changtian gave her the order, she paid special attention to the person who knocked on the door today. However, no one had knocked on the door yet. On the surface of Daong town, Di Tian was also supporting his body. Staring at Xiao Changshan's courtyard that was already faintly discernible, Di Tian slowly walked over. Bang, bang, bang. Di Tian leaned against the gate of Xiao Changshan's courtyard, using the remaining strength in his body to slam on the gate. Xiao Changtian, who was sitting in the courtyard, was delighted when he heard the knocking on the door. When Mu Jiahuang heard the knocking, she quickly got up and walked to the door. As the door slowly opened, Di Tian's figure also fell down. Chapter 507, Saving Di Tian 1, Tianyuan Continent, Daong Town. Di Tian's figure slowly landed in Xiao Changshan's courtyard. Mu Jiahuang looked at Di Tian, who was covered in blood, and helped him up from the ground. Master, come over and take a look. Di Tian is seriously injured. At this moment in Mu Jiahuang's embrace, Di Tian had already fainted. Updated on B0X and 0ville. Calm. When Xiao Changtian heard Mu Jiahuang's words, he quickly walked to the door. Seeing Di Tian covered in blood, Xiao Changtian hurriedly spoke to Mu Jiahuang, Jiao quickly carry Di Tian into the house. When Di Wu Zheng and the others followed Xiao Changtian over, they saw Di Tian's appearance. She hurriedly walked over and helped Mu Jiahuang carry Di Tian into the courtyard. Xiao Changtian slowly walked into the small house in the backyard and picked up the white cloth on the table. First, she helped Di Tian wipe away the blood on his body. After that, she placed her hand on his wrist. Feeling Di Tian's pulse, Xiao Changtian heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. Fortunately, his arteries were still beating, and his life force was not extinguished. As he thought about this, Xiao Changtian quickly said to Mu Jiahuang, Jiao bring in the foot of the Supreme. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Mu Jiahuang didn't hesitate and immediately went to the backyard. With Di Tian's current condition, he had already missed the best time to heal himself. Even if he had any means, he was not 100% sure. On the other hand, the supreme feat mentioned by the system had the effect of reviving the dead and activating the blood circulation. Di Tian was also the first person to knock on the door today. If he consumed it, Di Tian might still have a chance of survival. Not long after, Mu Jiahuang walked in with the supreme martial kick that Di Tian had just made. Receiving the paragon's leg from Mu Jiahuang, Xiao Changtian stared at the unconscious Di Tian. He also took out the flame pearl from his interspatial ring. The flame bead also started to burn under the plate. Under the effect of the flame pearl, the Supreme Being's kick also slowly turned into a very liquid. Xiao Changtian then fed Di Tian the liquid formed from the foot of the paragon. After feeding Di Tian the paragon kick, Xiao Changtian sat beside Di Tian and observed the changes in his body. As time passed, blood slowly appeared on Di Tian's face. Di Tian's fingers trembled slightly as he slowly opened his eyes. Where am I? Di Tian slowly spoke as he woke up. At this moment, Xiao Changtian looked at the awakened Di Tian and spoke to him. If you're awake, take good care of your body. Don't move around casually. When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he turned to look at him. Thank you, senior. I still have things to do. When Di Tian spoke, he also wanted to sit up from his bed. He remembered that the Ice Emperor and the others were still in the hands of those white-robed men. It was hard to say what would happen if time passed. At this time, Xiao Changtian also pressed down on his body and slowly said to him, Your body is already like this. What else do you want to do? When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also spoke with some unwillingness. Senior, the Ice Emperor and the others are still in the hands of others. Xiao Changtian only recalled when he heard Di Tian. When he was in Xiao Rao's house, Di Tian said that he wanted to establish a power in the cultivation world. In other words, all the injuries on his body were caused by cultivators. Thinking of this in his heart, Xiao Changtian slowly spoke to Di Tian. Was it done by those Xiaxianists? When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also nodded to Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian stared at Di Tian and slowly spoke. Di Tian, you can rest here first. They'll go save the Ice Emperor and the others. Di Tian was a young cultivator who had just entered the sect. Now that he was covered in injuries, he had to go over and fight with those cultivators. In the end, he would probably be beaten up. As he thought of this in his heart, Di Tian's voice slowly drifted over. Senior, what are you? Xiao Changtian waved his hand at him and said slowly, just rest well first. Don't think about anything else. Xiao Changtian also knew what Di Tian wanted to say. Didn't he just say that a mortal like him shouldn't trouble him? However, Di Tian was after all a shop assistant in his bookstore. How could he allow him to be bullied like this? Di Tian stared at Xiao Changtian as he left the room. He didn't say anything. He mobilized the true essence in his body and slowly recovered from his injuries. The power of the Paragon Kick flowed through Di Tian's limbs. As the strength of the Paragon Kick was slowly absorbed by Di Tian's injuries were also gradually recovering. Moreover, his aura was also growing in an unbelievable way. Senior, you're so attentive to me. I definitely can't let you down. Di Tian also knew that Xiao Changtian was tempering his heart in the mortal world. If he let the senior interfere with his cultivation because of him, he would definitely not forgive himself. With this thought in his heart, Di Tian also started to absorb the energy within the leg. The Supreme Being Kick continued to converge on the cells in his body. Di Tian's aura had already surpassed that of a god emperor. After Xiao Changtian left the courtyard, he said to Mu Jiuhuang, Jiuer, I'm going out to the Great Sun Sect. It'll have to trouble you to take care of Di Tian. When Mu Jiuhuang heard Di Tian's words, she also slowly spoke to Xiao Changtian. Yes, master. Xiao Changtian instructed Mu Jiuhuang and left the courtyard. Although he was a mortal, he had a good relationship with the Great Sun Immortal. If he went over to find out more from Taoist Big Sun, he would be able to help Di Tian teach those fellows a lesson. After Xiao Changtian left, the ancestral dragon who was in the pond in the courtyard also turned to look at Di Tian's room. Alright, everything is fate. Since Master gave you the Paragon's foot, it can be considered as affirmation of you. In that case, you can't waste the power of the Paragon Kick. Then the ancestral dragon also soared into the sky from the pond. A huge golden dragon with monstrous luck appeared in the sky above the courtyard. Looking at the ancestral dragon who had suddenly appeared, Mu Jiuhuang walked over and said respectfully, Senior Ancestral Dragon, what happened? Ancestral Dragon looked at Mu Jiuhuang below and transmitted his voice to her. It's nothing. Just do as you've always done. As soon as he finished speaking, there were strands of golden providence on the ancestral dragon's body that augmented Di Tian in the room. Meanwhile, Di Tian, who was in the room, was currently in the critical period of his breakthrough. What exactly is after the God Monarch realm? Why hasn't anyone in the divine realm advanced for so many years? Di Tian could feel the energy within his body, as well as his aura that was constantly rising. However, there was no way to find a way to advance to the godly emperor realm. Chapter 508. Breakthrough Heading to the Divine World 1. Tianyuan Continent, Xiao Changshan's courtyard. Di Tian sat on the bed, continuously circulating his cultivation art. Stabilize the aura in his body and don't let the energy in his body burst. No, I can't let Senior down. As he thought of this in his heart, Di Tian also saw traces of golden light in his spiritual world. Updated on B0x and 0vil. Seeing the sudden appearance of the golden light, Xiao Changtian immediately followed him. The golden light slowly guided Di Tian and formed a huge door in front of him. Staring at the door before him, Di Tian stretched out his hand and gently stroked it. Then, with a determined look in his eyes, he took a step forward. Whoosh! After passing through the gate, Di Tian also felt as though he had been given a new lease of life. As for Di Tian, he was sitting on his bed in meditation. His body also swelled up and then stabilized. Not long after, Di Tian slowly opened his eyes. He slowly walked down from the bed and bowed to the ancestral dragon in midair. He now knew why no one in the divine world could advance to the godly emperor realm for so many years. It was because they lacked luck. That was right, luck was the one. When he advanced to the godly emperor realm just now, that golden door was the door of providence that senior ancestral dragon had built for him. No wonder Divine Eye and the others wanted to come to the divine world and the lower realm to collect providence. In this way, the tens of millions of cultivators in the divine world and the lower realm would have no chance of breaking through. If he could not advance to the godly emperor realm, he would not have the chance to go to the so-called heavens beyond. As he thought of this in his heart, Tian suddenly felt that a huge conspiracy was slowly unfolding against the divine realm. No wonder Senior wanted to go to the Drunken Immortal restaurant a while ago. Only such a big picture would be worth Senior's planning. He absolutely could not disturb Senior's cultivation. With this thought in his heart, Tian slowly walked out of the room. Mu Jiahuang stared at Tian, who had already come out looking completely different from before. She then spoke to him, Tian, have you recovered? Yes. Thanks to Senior, I'm much better. Where's Senior? Tian stared at Mu Jiahuang, smiling as he replied. At this moment, Mu Jiahuang slowly spoke to Tian, Master just went out. Senior, to me, he absolutely could not let down the cultivation of his senior. As he thought of this in his heart, Tian also clasped his fist towards the bamboo forest in the courtyard. Senior Chaos Ant, please lend me a hand. The Chaos Ants were currently crawling on the bamboo forest. Upon hearing Tian's words, she also inclined her head and casually glanced at him. Whoosh! Without any nonsense, the two antennae flashed with silver light. Tian also felt a surge of spatial energy wrapping around him. With a swoosh, Tian slowly disappeared from the courtyard. At the same time, Xiao Changtian slowly arrived at the Great Sun Sect. When the Great Sun Immortal saw Xiao Changtian coming to the foot of the Great Sun Sect, he also went out to welcome him. Senior, if you have something to say, just send a voice transmission. Why did you have to walk over yourself? The Great Sun Immortal stood beside Xiao Changtian and said slowly, Perfected Great Sun, this time around I have something to discuss with you. Do you know that Tian wants to establish a power? When the Great Sun Immortal heard Xiao Changshan's words, he was also stunned. He slowly said to Xiao Changtian, Senior, I don't know about that. Xiao Changtian heard the words of the Great Sun Immortal and slowly said to him, that Tian was beaten up by other cultivators when he was building his power. Why don't you come with me and have a good talk with them? Perfected Great Sun was extremely powerful. It was normal for him to not know that Tian and the other small cultivators wanted to establish a power there. Daoist Dayang nodded at him. Who was this person that actually made Senior angry? Senior had come to find him because he thought highly of him. Seeing the Great Sun Immortal nod, Xiao Changtian sighed in his heart. This Immortal Dayang was really a good person. Then Xiao Changtian slowly said to the Great Sun Immortal, Then Daoist Dayang, let's not delay any longer. Let's set off quickly. When the Great Sun Immortal heard Xiao Changshan's words, he didn't hesitate. With a flash of his body, he brought Xiao Changtian and flew towards the divinity. He had also heard that Tian was from the divine realm. As for breaking through the realm, he had the Nanming primordial fire diagram given to him by the senior, so there should not be any problem. At the same time, in the divine world, in the Lin family's courtyard. In the dungeon of the Lin family's courtyard, the divine Eye sat on a chair. They held a whip in their hands and looked at the Ice Emperor who was chained up. With a smile on her face, she slowly said to him, Tell me, what is the relationship between Tian and that man from the Drunken Immortal restaurant? Where is that man now? Tell me and I'll make sure you don't die. At this moment, the Ice Emperor's hair was fluffy, and there were some clothes on her body. You Elysium dogs, don't even think about getting any information from me. Oh really? The divine Eye looked at the whip in his hand and pointed it at the Ice Emperor. You might not know about this whip. Alright, I forgot to tell you. This is the divine striking whip. To be honest, it really has no effect on the body. But what he whipped was indeed your soul. Do you want to give it a try? Looking at your stubborn appearance, I'm afraid you can't wait. As he spoke, the divine Eye burst into laughter. Then he raised the long whip in his hand and whipped the Ice Emperor. Ah! The Ice Emperor snorted coldly after being whipped by the God of War. What a beautiful voice. Why are you holding it in? The divine Eye looked at the Ice Emperor and smiled at him. Then he picked up the God-striking whip in his hand and continuously whipped the Ice Emperor. Pah, pah, pah. The sound of whips hitting flesh could be heard throughout the dungeon. In another dungeon, Ren Yuan looked at Lin Lin and Mei Empress. You were the one who sent that fellow away, right? Tell me, where did this slave send her? Ren Yuan was originally disdainful of these people from the divine world. However, he discovered that after Di Tian disappeared, the imprint he left on Di Tian's body suddenly disappeared. This greatly shocked him. This divine world really surprised him more and more. Looking at the Mei Empress in front of him, Ren Yuan grabbed her cheek. "You're pretty good looking. It's a pity that you're growing it in this barren land. Otherwise I would have let you follow me." The Mei Empress heard Ren Yuan's words. Although she couldn't move, she glared at him. "Look at your eyes. It's not appropriate for a woman to look at you like that, you know?" As he spoke, Ren Yuan also shook the face of the Mei Empress and sat on the chair in the dungeon. "You brat, why aren't you saying anything?" Looking at Lin Lin, Ren Yuan said with a smile. Then, 2 rays of light shot out from his hands and entered the Mei Empress and Lin Lin's bodies. Guess what will happen next? Chapter 509, Powerful Suppression, 1. Divine World, Lin Family Courtyard Dungeon. Ren Yuan looked at Lin Lin and the Mei Empress in front of him and smiled. Then Lin Lin and the Mei Empress also felt a wave of restlessness. The Mei Empress looked at the human elemental energy in front of her and said coldly, "Updated on B0X and 0V. Calm, what did you do?" Ren Yuan smiled evilly when he saw the Mei Empress' flushed face. "Don't you know what I've done?" As soon as he finished speaking, Ren Yuan laughed out loud. At this moment, a figure slowly appeared in the sky above the Lin family courtyard. It was none other than Di Tian, who just came out from Xiao Changshan's courtyard. Di Tian stared downwards with a cold expression as he pointed downwards. In the Lin family's dungeon there was a tremor. Boom, boom, boom. The ground of the Lin family's dungeon shook. He also looked up into the sky and then his figure appeared in midair. Meanwhile, the Ice Empress and the Mei Empress in the dungeon also felt a power descending on them. After that, the silhouettes of the people in the dungeon flashed as they slowly appeared beside Di Tian. Di Tian stared at the 10 generals of the Divine Court, who were covered in wounds, as a cold expression flashed on his face. The true essence in his hands surged, and a few rays of light were injected into the Ice Emperor and the others. As for the Ice Emperor and the others, when they saw Di Tian, they also slowly spoke to him, "My lord." Di Tian glanced at them and also waved his hand. Everyone felt a surge of energy enveloping them. Several people gathered in midair. Ren Yuan looked at Di Tian, who was in the air, and smiled at him. "I was wondering who came. So it was the stray dog from before. However, this time I won't let you escape again." Di Tian stared at the smile on Ren Yuan's face. He wasn't in a hurry and stretched out his hand to point at him. "I didn't think of leaving this time." The golden light on his finger gradually lit up. When Ren Yuan heard Di Tian's words, a sinister smile appeared on his face. The people of the lower realm are really arrogant now. With a swoosh, Ren Yuan's figure shot towards Di Tian. "Die." Di Tian stared at Ren Yuan, his expression didn't change. The golden light in his hand flew out. It pierced through Ren Yuan's shoulder and a bloody hole appeared. At this moment, Ren Yuan's body had already flown backwards in the air, and he spat out a trace of blood. A look of disbelief could be seen on his face as he stared at Di Tian. "I told you, you will die." Di Tian stared at the terrified Ren Yuan as he coldly spoke. The golden primeval essence in his hand shot out again. "You dare." The instant Di Tian's true origin shot out, 2 voices sounded in unison in the air. Next, it formed a true essence shield in front of Di Tian, blocking his attack. Bang. As the 2 spirit skills collided, a wave of air burst out in midair. After that, Tian Yuan, Di Yuan, and Ren Yuan appeared before Di Tian. Ren Yuan clutched the wound on his shoulder as he stared at Di Tian, his eyes filled with hatred. "Big brother, I don't know what's going on with this guy, but his strength has already reached a new height. If we capture him, we might be able to grasp the secret of this lower realm." When Tian Yuan and Di Yuan heard Ren Yuan's words, they also looked at Di Tian. With a flash, the 2 of them surrounded Di Tian. "Although I don't know how you managed to reach the worldly immortal stage here. However, even if you have broken through to the worldly immortal stage, you are destined to not be able to leave today." When Di Tian heard Tian Yuan and Di Yuan's words, he coldly laughed. "Senior strength is not something you people can understand. Do you think I lost to a worldly immortal?" As he spoke, Di Tian also took a step forward. The aura on his body poured out like a flood and a beast. Boom, boom, boom. As Di Tian released his aura, Tian Yuan, Di Yuan, and the others stared at Di Tian as if he was a ghost. "Yo, are you a human or a ghost?" This aura, he was probably a golden immortal. Di Yuan looked at Di Tian before him, his hands trembling slightly. His eyes were already filled with fear. The appearance of a golden immortal in the divine realm was something that was impossible. At this time Tianyuan and Diyuan also had a second look. He came to Rin Yuan's side and was about to bring him away. You want to leave? Can you leave? Di Tian stared at the direction they left in as he pointed out with his finger. Then, the space where Tianyuan and the others were collapsed. Ah! The screams of Rin Yuan, Di Yuan and Tianyuan slowly sounded in the world. I'm unwilling, I'm unwilling. How can a mere divine world have a golden immortal? Amidst their miserable cries, Tianyuan and the others also turned into ashes and disappeared from the world. After that, Di Tian didn't even spare them another glance. He came to the front of the Mei Empress and the Ice Empress and looked at their bodies that were slowly recovering. At this moment the Ice Emperor slowly spoke to Di Tian. Master, your injuries? I found Senior. There shouldn't be any more problems. As he spoke, Di Tian brought the Ice Emperor and the others down slowly. As Di Tian healed them, the bodies of the Ice Emperor and the others slowly returned to normal. After arriving at the courtyard, the Ice Emperor and the others started to rescue the people in the Lin clan's courtyard under Di Tian's instructions. When he saw Lin Lin walking out, Di Tian stretched out his hand and tapped on his back. Then Lin Lin's body returned to normal. Then Lin Lin said to the Mei Empress, Fellow Taoist, I'm sorry about what happened just now. I had no choice. If Di Tian did not arrive in time he might have. When the Mei Empress heard Lin Lin's words, she waved at him. At this moment, the Ice Emperor was also looking at them, not knowing what had happened. At this moment, Lin Yuan also slowly walked towards Di Tian. He spoke with gratitude, Fellow Taoist, it's all thanks to you that our Lin family was able to escape this calamity. Upon hearing Lin Yuan's words, Di Tian also slowly spoke, It's not me, it's Senior. It's Senior's nurturing of us that allowed me to defeat them. As he spoke, Di Tian's tone was filled with respect. At the same time, in a space in the divine world, Taoist Big Sun also brought Xiao Changtian to sit on a blanket and slowly flew in the direction of the Lin family's courtyard. Senior, we're almost there. Chapter 510, New Mission 1, Divine World. Above the Lin family's courtyard, Xiao Changtian brought the figure of Taoist Big Sun to the sky above the Lin family's courtyard. Looking at the Lin family courtyard below, Xiao Changtian said to the Great Sun Immortal slowly, One, remember that Di Tian wants to establish a power together with the Lin updated on B0X and 0VL. Com family in the divine realm. Perfected De Yang, let's go down. Xiao Changtian pointed at the Lin family's courtyard. After hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Great Sun Immortal also looked down at the Lin family's courtyard. With a wave of his hand, the blanket under his feet flew towards the Lin family courtyard. Whoosh! Xiao Changtian and the Great Sun Immortal walked down from the blanket. Instead he walked towards the Lin clan's courtyard. Xiao Changtian saw Di Tian who was in the courtyard. She walked over and slowly said to him, Di Tian, have you recovered? Why did you come here? When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also turned his gaze towards the entrance of the courtyard. Senior, I'm already fine. Xiao Changtian stared at Di Tian who had already recovered a lot. Only then did he slowly nod his head. It seemed that the system had not deceived him. This supreme martial kick was indeed a treasure that could heal and save people, and bring the dead back to life. It was just that it could not be mass-produced. Otherwise he could also make a fortune. When Lin Yuan saw Xiao Changtian coming to the Lin family courtyard, he cupped his fists at him. Senior. Looking at Lin Yuan in front of him, Xiao Changtian also waved his hand. Patriarch Lin, there's no need to be so polite. Then Xiao Changtian pointed at Taoist De Yang behind him and said to Di Tian and Lin Yuan, This is the Great Sun Immortal. He bullied your divorce papers. The Great Sun Immortal will judge for you. Di Tian stared at Taoist De Yang who was standing behind Xiao Changtian as he smiled at him. Thank you, Senior. Those cultivators have already escaped. Upon hearing Di Tian's voice, Xiao Changtian also sighed. It seemed that he was too late. He just didn't know if he could find their location. As he thought of this in his heart, Xiao Changtian patted Di Tian's shoulder and slowly spoke. It's okay. We'll meet each other in the future. In the future, if Di Tian wanted to survive in the cultivation world, he would definitely have to come into contact with cultivators. He would definitely be able to find them again. When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, his body trembled. Senior was hinting to him that there were more than just a few cultivators. It seemed that he had to establish the divine court as soon as possible. However, his ability alone was limited. If there were many people, he might not be able to deal with them. As he thought of this in his heart, Di Tian also slowly spoke to Xiao Changtian. Senior, do you have any suggestions for future development? Xiao Changtian slowly spoke when he heard Di Tian's words. Difficult. Di Tian had just entered the cultivation world and was already beaten half to death. If he continued to develop in the divine world, he did not know what kind of hardships he would have to experience. As for Di Tian, he was also a little pessimistic when he saw Xiao Changtian sighing. Looks like the days after the divine realm would probably not be peaceful anymore. Those cultivators are obviously still at the bottom. The truly powerful cultivators haven't made a move yet. Xiao Changtian stood at the side for a while as he slowly spoke to Di Tian. Di Tian had just entered the cultivation world. Naturally, he wouldn't encounter any particularly powerful cultivators. He had heard that there were unspoken rules in the immortal cultivation sect. Those who were powerful usually wouldn't attack small cultivators. It was just that if Di Tian wanted to develop in the cultivation world for a long time, it was only a matter of time before they met. This was a test of Di Tian's own strength. Even if he was a mortal, he couldn't help him much. He only told him his own opinion. He still had to choose what to do after that. When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, his heart trembled. The Renyuan he saw today was not the strongest. There were existences stronger than them. Other than himself, no one else in the divine world could deal with Renyuan. If there were experts who could hold him back, the entire divine world. As he thought of this, Di Tian also clasped his fists toward Xiao Changtian. Senior, please help me. The divine realm was their homeland. If there were any external enemies, Di Tian could only go all out to deal with them. When he saw Di Tian's expression, Xiao Changtian also pulled his arm and slowly spoke. Di Tian, do we still have to be like this between us? It's not like you don't know I'm just a mortal. Ding dong. Before Xiao Changtian could finish his words, the system's voice that he hadn't heard for a long time sounded in his mind. Detected that the host has completed the Supreme Kick mission. The rewards are being distributed now. Please check and accept. Detected that there will be a great enemy invading the host's surroundings. Host, please help Di Tian build a divine court and build a small nest for each animal. Mission completed. The host can now activate the path of invincibility. Xiao Changtian was a little excited as he listened to the series of notifications from the system. After such a long time, this stupid system finally responded. The road to invincibility, this stupid system finally gave him clear instructions. In other words, as long as he completed this mission, he could open the path of invincibility? Xiao Changtian was used to being a mortal in the cultivation world. However, when he heard the system mention the path to invincibility again, he was still a little excited. At this moment, Di Tian's voice slowly entered Xiao Changshan's ears. Senior, is there a problem? Di Tian stared at Xiao Changtian. He didn't dare to be sure if Xiao Changtian would be able to help him in this calamity. At this moment, Xiao Changshan's heart was filled with excitement. When he heard Di Tian's words, he slowly returned to reality. Since the system wanted him to help Di Tian establish the divine court, he had no other choice. Since this was the case, Xiao Changtian also slowly spoke to Di Tian. How about this? He'll help you build your divine court. When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he felt some agitation. Immediately, he cupped his fists at Xiao Changtian and said excitedly, "Thank you, senior." When Xiao Changtian saw how excited Di Tian was, he also waved his hands at him. He was just a mortal, so he did not know what the situation in the cultivation world was like. The establishment of this force still needed to be planned properly. Di Tian was also a cultivator who had just entered the sect not long ago. Clearly, he did not know much about the cultivation world. Otherwise, why would he be beaten up? At this moment, the system's voice slowly sounded in Xiao Changshan's mind. Ding dong. The mission to help Di Tian establish the divine court has been activated. Host, please find a foundation for the divine court. Hearing the system's voice, Xiao Changtian said to the system in his heart. System, is there any grade requirement for this force? Chapter 511. Site Selection, 1. Divine World, Lin Family Compound. The system was silent for a while after hearing Xiao Changshan's words. Then he slowly transmitted his voice to Xiao Changtian. Ding dong. The mission does not have any requirements for the grade of the organization established by the host. Hearing the system's words, Xiao Changtian heaved a sigh of relief. Updated on B0X and 0vil. Fortunately, the system was still a little humane. It would not let him create a first-grade force or something. If he were to establish a rank 1 faction, wasn't he just making things difficult for him? How could a mere mortal like him fight against that group of immortal cultivators? As he thought of this in his heart, Xiao Changtian also came to Di Tian's side and slowly spoke. Di Tian, your first step of establishing a power is wrong. Upon hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Di Tian was also somewhat dumbstruck. Somewhat confused, he slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, please guide me." Xiao Changtian stared at Di Tian before him as he took a few steps forward. The key to establishing a force is to choose a location. A good place can also allow the sect to develop for a long time. What if you choose the right place? No matter how powerful this sect is, it won't last long. Isn't that so? This Di Tian was obviously randomly choosing the address. This was definitely the area where the cultivators fought. Di Tian wanted to choose a location here, which was why he was attacked by those cultivators. As for Di Tian, when he heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also nodded his head in contemplation. Indeed, according to his previous plan, the divine court was planned to be in its original position. Now that so many years had passed, the entire divine world had also undergone many changes. It was indeed inappropriate to build a divine court in the original place. Moreover, although the spiritual energy in that place was dense, it was still not enough. However, with Senior's strength, he would definitely be able to find a better place in the divine world. It was rumored that some of the forbidden areas in the divine realm were actually a blessing if they were used well. Di Tian thought so in his heart. He then slowly spoke to Xiao Changtian, then in Senior's opinion, where is the best place? Xiao Changtian coughed when he heard Di Tian's words. Well, why ask yourself? It must be those deep mountains and forests with no human habitation. There were definitely no cultivators there. Moreover, there were few people there, so it was not easy to attract any trouble. Thinking of this, Xiao Changtian slowly said, "Of course, it's in the forest where there are few people." Di Tian felt joy in his heart when he heard Xiao Changshan's words. It seemed that he had guessed correctly. Senior's goal was indeed the forbidden area in the divine world. After all, in the entire divine world, only the forbidden areas were worthy of the sparsely populated mountains and forests that Senior said. When he thought of this, Di Tian also slowly spoke to Xiao Changtian. "Senior, leave it to me. I'll do it now." There were some forbidden areas in the divine world that even he had never been to before. Not for anything else, even if he was a peak god emperor in his previous life. However, there were still some places that made him feel a sense of danger and did not dare to step foot. However, now that his strength had increased greatly, Di Tian was extremely confident in finding a forbidden ground to use as the foundation of the divine court. When Xiao Changtian saw how excited Di Tian was, he also stretched out his hand to stop him. She slowly said to him, "Di Tian, your injuries have just recovered. It's best for you to recuperate here. Let me handle the site selection." It wasn't that Xiao Changtian didn't want Di Tian to find the address, but he was truly worried. Firstly, Di Tian had just recovered from his injuries and needed to rest. Secondly, after this incident, Xiao Changtian didn't dare to let Di Tian find the address anymore. What if he went to the wrong place and was attacked by cultivators like this time? Xiao Changtian didn't have the ingredients to make another supreme kick. When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also slowly spoke. "Senior, is this okay? I'll go." It was already a great grace for him that Senior was willing to agree to help him establish the divine court. If Senior were to personally choose a location for him, he would also feel bad. Xiao Changtian stared at Di Tian before him as he pulled him back. "Of course, listen to me. You just stay here and recuperate." Looking at Di Tian's current state, Xiao Changtian had a premonition that Di Tian would definitely not find a good place. Di Tian stared at Xiao Changtian wanting to say something. Xiao Changshan's voice sounded again. "Do you not believe me?" When Di Tian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he hurriedly spoke. "No, Senior, how could that be?" "Then let's do it this way. It's settled. I'll go and choose the site." This time around, Xiao Changtian didn't give Di Tian the chance to speak. After his voice sounded, he slowly said to Lin Yuan by the side, "Clan head Lin, the Emperor Heaven has just recovered. I need you to take care of it. After the faction is established, you guys can move in together." Xiao Changtian knew that the Lin family and the divine court were allies. In this way, it was quite good to move in after it was built. When Lin Yuan heard Xiao Changshan's words, he was overwhelmed by the unexpected favor. He spoke to Xiao Changtian with excitement. "Thank you, Senior." It wasn't that he hadn't seen Di Tian's strength. He had only left for a few days. Then he came back to kill those grandmasters. Lin Yuan understood that this definitely had something to do with Xiao Changtian. If he could build a good relationship with Xiao Changtian, he would be able to hug Xiao Changshan's thigh when he moved in. Their Lin family might really be able to soar. Then Xiao Changtian left the Lin family's courtyard with Daoist de Yang and the rest. Now he had to go back and make some preparations. He was preparing to choose a location in the divine world. After leaving the Lin family, Xiao Changtian slowly said to the great sun immortal, "Taoist Big Sun, do you have a map of the divine world?" Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the great sun immortal also searched his body. He took out a piece of parchment from his pocket and handed it to Xiao Changtian. "Senior." Xiao Changtian slowly took the parchment from the great sun immortal and said to him, "Taoist Big Sun, let's go back first." With the map, he should be able to set off after he returned to the courtyard to plan. When the great sun immortal heard Xiao Changshan's words, he waved his hand. A blanket appeared in front of Xiao Changtian and the great sun immortal. Xiao Changtian slowly walked onto the blanket, and then the great sun immortal brought him to the great sun town. On the blanket, Xiao Changtian said to the great sun immortal slowly, "Perfected Dayang, do you have any intention of joining the power D Tian established?" And no matter what, Perfected Dayang was an expert. It was unknown if he would look down on the small factions of the heavens. The great sun immortal was controlling the blanket. He was excited when he heard Xiao Changshan's words. Was this senior inviting him? Xiao Changtian saw that the great sun immortal didn't say anything, so he said to him, "Perfected Dayang, if you're unwilling, you don't have to force it." Chapter 5:12, Shocking Change in the Heavenly Gates. 1. Divine Realm in Midair. Standing on the blanket, the great sun immortal nodded at Xiao Changtian. "Senior, am willing to join." What a joke. The opportunity to hug someone's thigh was right in front of him. Unless his brain was cramped, how could he refuse? Updated on B0X and Zeroville. Calm. When they were in the Lin clan's courtyard, Taoist Dayang heard that Xiao Changtian wanted to help D Tian establish his own power. He was very shocked. This senior had stayed in the courtyard for so long and finally made a move. However, the great sun immortal also knew his own strength. His strength was low, and senior had taken care of him in Dayang town. It was already a great favor to him. How could he dare to have any thoughts about the power that senior wanted to establish? He did not expect senior to ask him personally. It seemed that senior valued him very much. With this thought in mind, the great sun immortal looked at Xiao Changtian with gratitude in his eyes. He said slowly to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, can I?" Xiao Changtian looked at the great sun immortal and said with a smile, "Of course. Don't worry. When the time comes, the construction will definitely listen to your suggestions." Xiao Changtian also knew what the great sun immortal was worried about. A cultivator like the great sun immortal must be worried about his position in the faction. After all, cultivators like them would definitely be treated like ancestors in other sections. If they came to his place and did not receive any good treatment, it would not make sense. Xiao Changtian was originally worried that Taoist Big Sun would not be willing to come. As long as he was willing to come, with the great sun immortal's character, it did not matter if he had a little more status and words in the divine court. More importantly, with Perfected Dayang, the other cultivators would not casually attack the divine court. When the great sun immortal heard that Xiao Changtian would need to listen to his suggestions, he immediately said she was even more touched. Since this senior valued him so much, he had to work hard in the future. As the blanket flew, the great sun immortal and the others slowly arrived at Great Sun Town. When they returned to the Great Sun Town, Xiao Changtian said to the Great Sun Jinren, "Great Sun Immortal, thank you so much for this. I'll come and find you when I find the address." Even though the Great Sun Immortal didn't provide any substantial help this time. However, it was enough for him that the Great Sun Immortal was willing to help a mortal like him. When the Great Sun Immortal heard Xiao Changshan's words, he nodded at him. "Senior, I'll go back first." Looking at the way the Great Sun Immortal walked in the air, Xiao Changtian sighed in his heart. He would be able to fly in the sky one day. The path of invincibility, here I come. With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian was full of energy as he walked towards his courtyard. In the Lin family courtyard, after Xiao Changtian left, D Tian brought the 10 great generals of the divine court to help the Lin family restore their former glory. The entire Lin family was treated and buried. At this moment, D Tian also slowly spoke to Lin Yuan, "Master Lin, we'll be working together in the future, so we'll have to trouble you to take care of us." When Lin Yuan heard D Tian's words, he also waved his book at him. "No, you should be the one taking care of me." After that, D Tian continued, "Senior went out to choose a site. We also prepared ourselves and were ready to cooperate with Senior at any time." When Lin Yuan heard D Tian's words, he also recalled something. "I remember a place that has some high-quality fertile soil. Why don't we go and get it?" Since Senior wants to establish a force, he naturally needs all kinds of materials. Lin Yuan also wanted to get them over as soon as possible. When Di Tian heard Lin Yuan's words, he also nodded his head in delight. Di Tian also knew that Lin Yuan and the others had come from outside the divine realm. All along, the people of the divine realm had thought that the outside of the divine realm was an endless void filled with danger. However, he never found any life forms outside the divine realm. Now that his strength had increased, Di Tian also wanted to go out and take a look at what was outside the divine realm. After that, Lin Yuan stared at Di Tian before him as he awkwardly spoke, "I might have to trouble you to take me there." Previously, they had come to the divine world to find their ancestral land mainly because they had borrowed the divine artifact given by the Heaven Gate. It was just that when the Divine Eye Human Origin and the others attacked the Lin family's courtyard, the Divine Eye also took away all the useful spirit artifacts and divine artifacts of the Lin family. Staring at Lin Yuan's expression, Di Tian also smiled at him. She placed her hand on his shoulder and brought him out of the Lin family courtyard. At the same time, in the main hall of the Heavenly Gates, the Divine Eye was currently standing in the main hall of the Heaven's Gate. It looked at the Heaven's Gate Master above and slowly said to him, "Sect Master, the mission failed. A powerful Di Tian has appeared in the divine realm. Milords, all of you died at his hands." As he spoke, the Divine Eye was also a little afraid. When Ren Yuan and Di Yuan were killed by Di Tian, he was watching from the Lin family courtyard. After seeing Tengen and the others attack, they did not immediately succeed. The Divine Eye immediately used the various spatial artifacts it had plundered from the Lin family courtyard and left. Above the Heaven's Gate Hall, the Heaven's Gate Sect Master looked at the Divine Eye below and said in disbelief, "Divine Eye, what are you saying?" Ren Yuan and the others were human immortals like him. Moreover, Di Yuan and Tian Yuan were even stronger than him. How could the Heaven's Gate Sect Master believe that these people were killed in the divine realm? If the divine world had such powerful strength, then their Heaven's Gate would still be able to collect providence for hundreds of years. Sect Master, it's true. Why would I lie to you about such things? The Divine Eye looked at the Heaven's Gate Sect Master who was walking down from above and said slowly to him. The Heaven's Gate Sect Master walked to the Divine Eye's side and paced back and forth around him. These people died here for no reason. How was he going to explain this to the people from beyond Avalon? Who would believe that a few people had died on the side of the divine realm? Perhaps, their Elysium was facing a calamity that would wipe out their entire sect. After many years of dealing with the human realm upon heavens, the Heaven's Gate Sect Master knew their methods. This is good. Divine Eye, tell me. Just as the Heaven's Gate Sect Master was about to say something to the Divine Eye, a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Looking at the Divine Eye in front of him, his eyes were filled with disbelief. Divine Eye, you, Sect Master, don't blame me. I was just trying to protect myself. Someone died in the human realm upon heavens. There has to be an explanation, and you are the best explanation. The Divine Eye looked at the Heaven's Gate Sect Master in front of him expressionlessly. A palm had already pierced through his stomach. Chapter 513, Spirit Race Cold Charm, 1. Outside the divine realm, the Heavenly Gate Hall. The Divine Eye's hand slowly came out from the stomach of the Heaven's Gate Sect Master. Looking at the Heaven's Gate Sect Master in front of him, the Divine Eye also revealed a smile. Then he looked at his blood-stained hands and did not look at the door. Bang! The body of the Heaven's Gate Sect Master slowly fell to the ground. Updated on B0X and 0V. Calm at the same time outside the Divine Gate, a powerful aura flew over from outside. Bang! In the sky above the Gate of Heaven, a woman emitting a powerful aura slowly appeared. The woman was dressed in blue, and her long hair was casually placed behind. Following that, the woman's ethereal voice slowly sounded throughout the entire Gate of Heaven. Who is in charge of your Elysium? Come out. Boom, boom, boom. As soon as the woman finished speaking, the entire hall in the Gate of Heaven trembled. Countless Heavenly Gates elders flew into the sky from their palaces. He wanted to get angry, but when he saw the woman's clothes in the air, he obediently shut his mouth. At this moment, the Heaven's Gate elders also looked towards the Heaven's Gate Hall. After the Heavenly Gates was attacked by the White Tiger the last time, the elders in the Heavenly Gates went into seclusion to recuperate. Moreover, they could not pry into the main hall of Heaven's Gate on normal days. For a moment, the elders looked at each other and waited for the Heaven's Gate Sect Master to come out. After a while, everyone saw the door of the main hall of Heaven's Gate slowly open. Then, the figure of the Divine Eye appeared in front of everyone. Seeing the Divine Eye, the woman in the air slowly said to him, "Are you the Sect Master of the Heaven's Gate?" Looking at the beautiful woman in the sky, the divine eyes also cupped their fists at him. Lord of the spiritual race, I am not. Hearing the divine eyes' words, the woman snorted coldly. The spiritual race was a powerful race in the human realm upon heavens. Heaven's Gate and the others were also a subordinate force that was dependent on the spiritual race. She came to the divine gate this time because she sensed that her subordinate's soul jade pendant was broken. It would be fine if he died in the human realm upon heavens, but Tianyuan and the others told him that they were going to a lower realm. Dying in the lower realm, this could not help but make one ponder. Then, the woman slowly said to the divine eye below, "Your sect leader, the gecko, wouldn't want me to invite him out, right?" As she spoke, a trace of icy blue light lit up in the woman's hand. The main hall of the Heaven's Gate also began to be covered by layers of ice. Seeing the situation in the Heavenly Gates, those Heavenly Gates elders were also a little frightened. He said to the divine eye below, "Divine eye, where's the sect master? Hurry up and ask the sect master to come out." The divine eye listened to the words of the Heaven Gate elders and slowly said to the woman in the sky, "My lord, it's not that the sect master doesn't want to come out, but unfortunately the sect master is already dead." What was that? The words of the divine eye are like a huge boulder thrown into the calm lake of the Heavenly Gate. The group of Heavenly Gate's elders looked at each other and said to the divine eye, "Divine eye, what did you say? The sect master is dead. How did he die? Who is the murderer? Have you found him?" The woman looked at the chattering voices in the air and also looked at the divine eye below. Seeing that the woman did not speak, the divine eye continued, "A few days ago, a few emissaries from the spiritual race came to the Heavenly Gates to investigate the White Tiger incident in the divine realm. After that, the few of you went to the divine world. The sect master saw that the few of you did not return for a long time. I went to investigate, but there was no reply. Later, I also felt that something was amiss, so I wanted to go over and take a look. In the end, I only found the sect master's corpse. My lords, we don't know where you are." When the divine eye spoke, it was also sincere and its body was even bowed. When the elders of the Elysium heard the divine eye's words, their faces became even more puzzled. The divine world. Wasn't that the world they were in previously? With that world's luck, it was impossible to reach the immortal realm. At this moment, the woman in the air laughed. "Do you think I'll believe you?" As the woman spoke, layers of ice began to appear under the feet of the divine eye. The divine eye did not resist. It looked at the woman in the sky and slowly said, "Whether it is true or not, my lord will know once you go." Seeing that the divine eye was neither servile nor overbearing, the woman waved her hand. Then the layer of ice on the divine eye's foot was completely dissolved. "They'll believe you for now. I want to see what the truth is." The woman suddenly felt that the situation had become very interesting. First, the legendary white tiger appeared in the divine world. Following that, a powerhouse who had reached the celestial realm appeared in the divine world. Moreover, he was stronger than Tianyuan and the others. Wasn't this nonsense? When the divine eye heard the woman's words, it also slowly said to the woman, "Sir, that emperor is very powerful. I hope that sir can make some preparations." The scene of Di Tian killing Tianyuan, Di Yuan, and Rin Yuan with a single finger was still fresh in his mind. At this moment he reminded the woman. When the woman heard the divine eye's words, she laughed out loud. "I Leng Mei am in a lower realm. Do I still need to be afraid? With your strength you have yet to meet a true expert. Take me there. Or are you worried about something?" When she spoke, Leng Mei's face also carried a meaningful smile. When the divine eye heard Leng Mei's words, it did not say anything else either. Then he brought Leng Mei and flew towards the divine world. After divine eye and Leng Mei left, those Heaven's Gate elders also came to the Heaven's Gate main hall. Looking at the Heaven's Gate sect master in the hall, they were all shocked. For a time, the Heavenly Gates also began to fight openly and covertly. At the same time in Daong Town, Xiao Changtian took the map given by Taoist Master Yang and placed it on the stone table in the backyard. Looking at the crosses on the map, Xiao Changtian said to Mu Jiahuang, "Jiao what do you think of these places?" Xiao Changtian also knew that Mu Jiahuang's family was also very wealthy. Staying in the Golden Palace might give him some good advice. Mu Jiahuang also walked over slowly when he heard Xiao Changshan's words. Seeing the crosses on Xiao Changshan's map, he shook his head. "Senior, there are very few people in these places. The few places that Xiao Changtian drew were all forbidden areas in the divine world. They were all in various forests and mountains and there were very few people." Xiao Changtian heard Mu Jiahuang's words and looked at the crosses on the map. He was also very happy and kept the map. Next, he would listen to the advice of the great Sun Immortal and then do a field trip. Thinking of this, Xiao Changtian immediately went into action. Chapter 514. Invite young master to board the ship. 1. Tianyuan Continent, Daong Town. Xiao Changtian had already carried his bamboo basket and placed the black tortoise in his basket. He'll bring you along this time. Thinking that the old turtle had become much more obedient recently, Xiao Changtian also wanted to take it out for a walk. Updated on B0X and 0ville. And at this time the fat Rongrong also slowly walked over. Looking at the fat Rongrong beside him, Xiao Changtian smiled and said, "Let's go together." This Rongrong was the closest to this old turtle, Xiao Changtian also knew. After he left the door he saw Taoist Big Sun waiting for him. Xiao Changtian waved his hand at the great Sun Immortal and slowly walked over. Perfected De Yang, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. After the plan was made, Xiao Changtian also invited the great Sun Immortal to go and inspect the place. Firstly, this immortal De Yang was powerful and could protect him. Secondly, this immortal De Yang was also very knowledgeable. There were many things in the cultivation world that he did not know. With him by her side, she could also ask for advice. When the great Sun Immortal saw Xiao Changtian, he nodded at him. Arriving at the great Sun Immortal, Xiao Changtian took out the map from his pocket. Taoist Big Sun, take a look. Are there any problems with these places? The great Sun Immortal looked at the map handed over by Xiao Changtian and opened it in his hand. Senior, the paintings are all about forbidden areas. However, thinking about it, it made sense. Only a place like the forbidden area was worthy of the identity of a senior. With this thought in mind, the great Sun Immortal nodded to Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian looked at the great Sun Immortal and nodded. He was also delighted. It seemed that these places were indeed not bad. Then Xiao Changtian continued to speak to the great Sun Immortal. In that case, Taoist Master Daong, let's go on a field trip one by one. Let's start with this. What do you think? While speaking, Xiao Changtian also pointed at a cross on the map. When the great Sun Immortal heard Xiao Changshan's words, he didn't hesitate. He'll listen to Senior. Then he waved his hand and a red blanket appeared in front of him and Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian and the great Sun Immortal stood on it and flew toward the divine realm. After a while, Taoist Yang brought Xiao Changtian to a small town. According to Xiao Changshan's instructions, the first forbidden area they were going to was the 100,000 Mountains. Regarding this place, the great Sun Immortal's understanding of him was relatively limited. It was said that no one who entered the 100,000 Mountains had ever come out. Therefore, the great Sun Immortal brought Xiao Changtian to a nearby town. Xiao Changtian walked down from the blanket and walked around. He sighed. Taoist Big Sun, there are indeed fewer people here. This place was indeed relatively simple. There were not many guards with swords in the entire town. When the great Sun Immortal heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also nodded. Indeed, this town was relatively desolate. Almost all the people walking on it were mortals. After all, the reputation of the 100,000 Mountains was well known. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also saw the crowd gathering. Looking at the lively scene in front of him, Xiao Changtian also walked over with the great Sun Immortal. Taoist Big Sun, let's go over and take a look. If he wanted to establish a force here, it would be better for him to understand the local customs as soon as possible. Xiao Changtian and the great Sun Immortal also squeezed their way out of the crowd. Good. All right. At this moment, Xiao Changtian was surrounded by cheers. Xiao Changtian looked in front of him. In front of them was a stream and there was a flower boat on the stream. Everyone cheered as they listened to the music coming from the boat. At this time, Xiao Changtian said to someone beside him, "Fellow Taoist, what kind of event is this?" When the man heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also slowly introduced him. You must be from somewhere else. You don't understand. This is the 100,000 Mountains. It's rumored that ferocious beasts run amok there. The people who went in never came out, but there are exceptions. As long as you have experienced the blessings of the fairies on this boat, the chances of you staying here safely are very high. As he spoke, the man watched the flower boat in front of him pass by and waved it at him. All right, I won't talk to you anymore. The flower fairy is here. Flower fairy, please give us your blessings. Flower fairy, we are all good citizens. Please give us your blessings. Hearing the shouts around him, Xiao Changtian slowly understood. This flower boat was most likely a local religion. I thought I could pray for blessings or something. This was understandable. After all, it was a place with few people. The resources and environment would be relatively harsh. Without a solution, it was understandable to beg the gods. As for this harsh environment, it should be simple for cultivators like Taoist Great Sunday. A casual spell could change the entire environment. While Xiao Changtian was deep in thought, a ball of flowers slowly came into his hand. Xiao Changtian looked at the embroidered ball that suddenly appeared in his hand. He was also a little confused. When did this land in his hands? At this moment, the people standing beside Xiao Changtian looked at him with envy. Xiao Changtian had obtained the embroidered ball. What did this mean? It meant that Xiao Changtian had a chance to receive the blessing of the fairy. At this moment, a veiled maid stopped her bamboo pole on the boat. He said slowly to Xiao Changtian, "You are the fated person chosen by the flower fairy. Young master, please board the ship and receive the fairy's blessings." Blessing? Xiao Changtian was also a little stunned when he heard the maid's words. He was just here to watch the show and did not say that he wanted to participate. Why did he suddenly want to give her a blessing? At this moment, Xiao Changtian also glanced at the Great Sun Immortal behind him. The Great Sun Immortal felt Xiao Changshan's gaze, but he didn't respond. With his strength, he could not see what was on the flower boat at all. He could sense that there seemed to be an energy barrier on the boat, preventing him from probing. Seeing that the Great Sun Immortal had no suggestions, Xiao Changtian also took down his bamboo basket. He handed it to the Great Sun Immortal and said to him slowly, "Taoist Big Sun, hold it for me first. I'll be right back." Since he was considering building a force here, it was naturally better not to cause trouble. Anyway, it might be beneficial for him to give his blessings. Chapter 515. Young Master, can you play a song? 1 degrees, Divine Realm, a small town outside the 100,000 mountains. Xiao Changtian handed his bamboo basket to the Great Sun Immortal and slowly walked into the boat. The Great Sun Immortal took the bamboo basket from Xiao Changtian and a voice sounded in his mind. "Taoist Big Sun, let's go to the 100,000 mountains and take a look." "It's not appropriate for us to stay here, Master." When the Great Sun Immortal heard this voice, he was also stunned as he looked at the bamboo basket in his hand. Updated on B0X and 0.com. Then he saw Black Tortoise slowly climb out. The Great Sun Immortal wanted to say something, but he saw a green light flash on the Black Tortoise's body. Then, the Black Tortoise and the Great Sun Immortal disappeared from where they were. The Black Tortoise brought the Great Sun Immortal to an empty alley. Then he slowly climbed out of the bamboo basket. When Xiao Changtian carried it on his back, Black Tortoise didn't dare to come out of Xiao Changshan's basket. After all, it wasn't easy for him to gain Xiao Changshan's favor. Master had just felt that he was obedient and brought him out. If he were to mess around, wouldn't he be easily locked up in a small black room? When Xiao Changtian handed the bamboo basket to the Great Sun Immortal, Black Tortoise knew that his chance had come. "Senior Black Tortoise, what are you doing?" The Great Sun Immortal looked at the Black Tortoise in front of him and said slowly to him. Then, before Black Tortoise could respond, the Great Sun Immortal saw Xiao Changshan's bamboo basket shake. Next, the Fat Rongrong's figure appeared in front of Taoist Big Sunday. "I'm finally out." The Fat Rongrong also slowly climbed out of the bamboo basket, her mouth slowly saying. Inside the bamboo basket, the Fat Rongrong had been facing swords and sabers. Those were all personally forged by Xiao Changtian. He didn't even dare to think about them, let alone eat them. "Fatty Rongrong, what are you doing?" Taoist Big Sun saw Fatty Rongrong come out and asked him with some doubt. And at this time, Black Tortoise had already slowly climbed onto the Fat Rongrong's head. Looking at Taoist Big Sun opposite him, the Fat Rongrong also slowly said to him, "Taoist Big Sun, I have a favor to ask of you." When the Great Sun Immortal heard Black Tortoise's words, he panicked and said to Black Tortoise, "Senior Black Tortoise, tell me. What kind of strength did Senior Black Tortoise have?" He actually wanted to ask for help from him. "That Master is on the boat. When Master comes down, let us know. We'll be back immediately." As he spoke, Black Tortoise also came to the side of the Great Sun Immortal and patted his shoulder. At this moment, how could the Great Sun Immortal dare to refuse anything? He could only hurriedly say, "Senior Black Tortoise, what are you going to do?" "If Senior asks, I can explain myself." Hearing the words of the Great Sun Immortal, the Black Tortoise immediately became anxious. "Perfected De Yang, you must not tell Master that we left, understand? Also, if that Master asks, tell him that we didn't leave." When the Great Sun Immortal heard the Black Tortoise's words, he nodded his head as if he understood something. After thinking about it, he still said to Black Tortoise worriedly, "Senior Black Tortoise, where are you going?" The black tortoise's body also flew into the air with the fat Rong Rong. After being told this by Taoist Big Sunday, Master wants to go to the flower boat to see the beauty, so this Sea King naturally goes to find the beauty. Fatty, let's go. Alright, boss. While speaking, the black tortoise Fat Rong Rong's figure also disappeared from the world. The great Sun Immortal looked at the direction where the black tortoise had left and quickly picked up the bamboo basket on the ground, walking towards the stream where the flower boat was just now. At this moment, Xiao Changtian slowly walked onto the boat under the lead of a maid. Looking at the ship in front of him, Xiao Changtian was a little surprised. It was fine that the people on this ship were all women. These women were all covered with veils. From the looks of it, they looked as if they could not be seen. Young master, the flower fairy is right ahead. Xiao Changtian nodded at him when he heard the maid's words. Then he looked at the cabin in front of him. Standing there, Xiao Changtian could clearly hear the music coming from inside. This zither sound is a little too rough. Xiao Changtian, who was waiting outside, said casually. As soon as Xiao Changtian finished speaking, he felt the music in the cabin stop. Then a voice entered his ears. How dare you say such things about the fairy's zither? At the same time, the maid from earlier also walked out. He looked at Xiao Changtian angrily. Xiao Changtian didn't expect that his casual words would make him so angry. Then he waved at them. Miss, calm down, calm down. I'm just telling the truth. When the maid heard Xiao Changshan's words, she felt relieved. When he heard the truth, he was furious. What did you say? Just as the maid was about to say something, a voice came from the cabin. Chui, don't be unreasonable. Let me talk to this young master. The flower fairy's voice slowly came from inside. Originally, she also wanted to give Xiao Changtian a blessing, but she didn't expect to encounter such a thing. Young master said that my zither music is rough. I wonder if young master's zither skills are good enough to come in and play a song. The flower fairy's voice was also very pleasant, giving people a feeling of being bathed in the spring breeze. At this moment, the maids looked at Xiao Changtian provocatively. Since this person said that the fairy's zither skills were not good, then how about playing it yourself? Xiao Changtian felt the gaze of the maid in front of him. Then he slowly said to the figure inside, since that's the case, I'll make a fool of myself. This girl's playing was indeed a little rough. However, he had received special training from the system, so he could at least play it. Moreover, looking at this girl's appearance, it was obvious that she would not let him go if he did not understand. Hearing Xiao Changshan's agreement, Miss Chui also made an inviting gesture to Xiao Changtian. Then Xiao Changtian slowly entered the cabin under her lead. When they arrived at the cabin, they were greeted by a faint fragrance. Following that, Xiao Changtian saw a curtain. Behind the curtain, there was a vague figure sitting there. Young master, do you want to come over and play the zither? Without seeing the woman's face, the pleasant voice sounded again. Xiao Changtian smiled at the screen when he heard the voice. No need, young lady just needs to push the zither out and I will play the zither here. Chapter 5:16. Are these people crazy? Oh. Divine Realm. On the flower boat, Xiao Changtian sat in the cabin, looking at the zither in front of him. He placed both hands on the zither and gently stroked it from left to right. The zither also produced a sound. Then he began to pluck the zither with both hands. Updated on B0X and 0ville. Com bang, bang, bang. As Xiao Changshan's hands danced, the zither began to make a pleasant sound. In the cabin, Chui wanted to mock Xiao Changtian, but she couldn't say it. Could it be that this kid really knew how to play the zither? Chui placed her hand on her chin and stared at Xiao Changtian in the cabin. Outside the flower boat, the audience on both sides looked at the flower boat in front of them and heard the zither music inside. There were also waves of cheers. Fairy played the zither. It seems that she is blessing that person just now. That kid is really lucky to be blessed by the fairy. The audience on both sides of the stream looked at the flower boats with envy in their voices. Through the curtain, the flower fairy couldn't see Xiao Changshan's face. Hearing Xiao Changshan's music, the flower fairy was stunned. It wasn't that Xiao Changshan's playing was bad, but that his zither music was too good. While feeling shocked, the flower fairy slowly drew her fingers across her eyes, and some true essence surged through them. Then, the curtain in front of her was like nothingness to her. Seeing Xiao Changshan's appearance, the flower fairy also observed his fingers. Looking at the movements of his fingers, he didn't look like a rough man at all. She looked like a delicate and agile woman with exquisite hands. As time passed, the sound of the zither also fluctuated. The audience on both sides of the stream listened to Xiao Changshan's music. They had stopped cheering and were quietly listening to Xiao Changshan's performance. In their eyes, this was not a zither sound at all, but an art. Under the cleansing of the zither music, they felt that their bodies and mental energy were much better than before. At this moment, the music of the zither suddenly became high. Everyone present felt a murderous intent. It was as if a supreme expert was neither servile nor overbearing in the face of heavy encirclement, bravely killing the enemy. In the end, the zither music stopped abruptly amidst the high-pitched sound of the zither. What followed was a sense of sadness and regret. Everyone was listening to Xiao Changshan's zither music. Even until the zither music ended, they still didn't react. They could feel the zither music as they lived outside the 100,000 mountains. Weren't they worried about all kinds of dangers every day and constantly fighting with them? Finally, the solemn and sorrowful sound of the zither entered everyone's hearts. As expected, Fairy understands us and understands us. This must be the reason why the fairy gave us her blessings. The fairy is simply a living bodhisattva. After a while, the spectators on both sides of the stream muttered. Meanwhile, inside the flower boat, Cui was already speechless. At first, she thought that he didn't know how to play the zither. When she first started playing the zither, she thought Xiao Changtian only knew a few tricks. Now she realized that she was completely wrong. Yes, it was a huge mistake. Perhaps to the mortals outside, this zither music was only used to cleanse their souls. However, as an immortal cultivator who majored in the zither, Cui understood what Xiao Changshan's performance meant. Just based on the song just now, the man sitting in front of her was at least a master. The flower fairy herself felt it even more clearly. Xiao Changshan's zither music was unprecedentedly powerful. The flower fairy felt that she had gained a new understanding of the zither. Xiao Changtian slowly raised his hands and pushed the zither back. To be honest, Xiao Changtian wasn't very satisfied with his zither skills. At the very least, the song that he had just played would definitely not pass the system's training. This was not entirely his fault. After all, in Xiao Changshan's eyes, this zither was a little lacking. It was even worse than the one he made in the courtyard. However, this was understandable. After all, this place was quite poor. It was already not easy for these people to get such a zither. While Xiao Changtian was thinking, the curtain between him and the flower fairy was slowly pushed open. The curtain was pushed open and Xiao Changtian saw a fresh and refined woman. The flower fairy's long hair was casually draped over her shoulders, and she was wearing a pink-white dress. At this moment, her eyes were also staring at him. Xiao Changtian felt uncomfortable being stared at by the flower fairy. Then he slowly said to her, "Fairy, is there a problem?" He had said what he should have said just now, and he had also played what he should have played. What did this woman mean by staring at him like that? When the flower fairy heard Xiao Changshan's words, she also stood up from her seat. He walked to Xiao Changshan's side and bowed slightly. "Thank you for your guidance, young master." Xiao Changtian saw the flower fairy's expression and quickly walked over to help her up. "I don't dare to teach you. I just casually flicked my finger." The flower fairy's skin was fragile, and when Xiao Changtian touched her arm, he felt a strange feeling. This woman was wearing a veil and her skin was exceptionally good. Could it be that he had contracted some illness? With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian also looked at the other women in the cabin. These women were all wearing veils, and their skin was exceptionally fair under the sunlight. Based on the medical knowledge he obtained from the system, this group of people was very likely to be sick. While Xiao Changtian was deep in thought, Cui also brought a few mates. He placed a table between Xiao Changtian and Flower Fairy. Then Cui glanced at the maids behind her, and those women left the cabin. For a moment, there was only the Flower Fairy and Xiao Changtian in the cabin, and Cui who was pouring tea for them. "Young master, why is this happening?" Xiao Changtian took the wine cup from Cui and took a sip. Then he slowly said to the Flower Fairy, "I want to go to the 100,000 mountains ahead." Xiao Changtian was also telling the truth. After all, if he really established his power there in the future, he would be able to do it. No matter what, he had to deal with the people in this small town. The Flower Fairy smiled when she heard Xiao Changshan's words. Obviously, Xiao Changshan's answer was within her expectations. After all, a powerful like Xiao Changtian could only come here to explore the 100,000 mountains. The Flower Fairy also drank a mouthful of tea with Xiao Changtian. Then she said to Xiao Changtian, "Then why is young master going to the 100,000 mountains?" You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.